My hair is my main accessory. It's all I really do on any given day. I'll put clothes on, and then it's how am I wearing my hair, and then that's it.
I mean, it's beautiful hair.
Well, I do my best.
Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome back to the final episode of Season 1 of The Rubber Room. I'm Kable, and Alexander Skarsgård is the only man that I'd call daddy.
I'm Romeo, and my safe word for today is Kalashnikov.
And what does that mean, Romeo?
It's a Russian machine gun, I think.
Okay.
Never going to come up in sex, is it?
Well, is it easy to say in a situation?
Well, my go-to safe word is usually lesbians.
Okay.
That shouldn't occur in a gay scenario.
I think the one I was taught was pineapple, which I quite like. But you never know. That might come up in a sexy setting. So, but thanks for joining us for this final episode. We have a very special episode planned. We wanted to talk about one of our biggest loves, which is getting dressed up as gimps. We're going to be talking you through how we get ready, some of the joys about being a gimp as well, and really trying to understand and get in that mindset of what it means to be gimpy. Just a word of warning, as always, with every episode, we will be talking about kinks, some safer than others, but as always with kink, make sure that you stay safe, ask for consent, but most importantly, have fun. A big shout out to Eagle, who've been hosting us for this season of The Rubber Room. We're really grateful to be doing our podcast here in what we feel is the central part of the kink scene in Manchester, and I'm sure it is for many other people as well. Really appreciate their support as we've gone on this wild and kinky journey, and we really hope that you've enjoyed it too. Romeo, you're dressed as a gimp. Can you tell us how it feels for you right now to be fully encased in your rubber?
It's great. I haven't worn this hood much, actually. I don't often hood up solo because I know who I am, so I don't need to be a non.
Yeah.
Which is kind of part of the fun. But it's just quite centering whenever I'm pulling on my layers. I do feel there's a big bit of a here we are. Yeah. Kind of feeling.
Is it more like a relief, or is it more like this is coming back to who you are?
It's just a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling. It's I couldn't explain it. I like the restrictiveness. I like being held. That's probably what it is. I probably just need a few cuddles. But yeah,
plenty of cuddles after today.
Yeah, thanks. I really enjoy full coverage. It's dehumanizing. It lets you become something else. It is, freeing in a weird... one of my dreams is to be dragged around an event as a full gimp on someone's lead, but I've yet to find the man to do that to me, and I'm not just going to take a lead out and hope someone grabs it. Yeah. I'd have to prepare it.
It's got to be the right person.
Yeah, well, it's definitely something I'd like to do.
Yeah, you talked a bit about then as well, like being anonymous and stuff like that. Is there something that's quite kinky about the anonymity? Or do you prefer being very sort of
I'm quite happy in myself generally as a person. I don't mind being me in rubber, but when you get a hood on, it strips away stuff. Like, for instance, I've got long hair that I'm always playing with. I don't have that in a hood, so it does it sort of forces you down to your essentials. Like, I feel more comfortable in rubber than I do naked. Partly because rubber sort of holds it all in a bit. So if you've got a bit of podge, it's less podgy in rubber. And it's just... I don't know. I never feel quite so ready to tackle something. Not that I ever tackle anything. But if I were to I just feel ready when I'm in this kind of gear.
It gives a sense of confidence in a way. I think that's what I love about being in gear, is when I'm not in it, it's... obviously myself and all of that, but when I am, I gain this confidence and this sexiness, and I feel like a lot more dominant person as well, which is not something that I usually am in my typical day to day. So I don't know where specifically that energy comes from. I think it's probably the same as when drag queens get into drag, or when performers are getting into their outfits. It's kind of like, this is almost putting on a persona that I know I want to be, and I kind of aspire to be, and it's giving you the freedom and that confirmation to be able to do that.
Dress for the job you want.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wish I could wear this to work all day. That would be the dream. So
give me time. We'll see where this goes. But yeah, I like it for it is freedom, even though it is restrictive. It's the restrictions that are freeing. Most of kink is counterintuitive and not make sense if you think about it too hard. But I know I enjoy it, so I just roll with it.
Completely agree. I think that's the same for me as because I like to gimp out as well, and I think it's tied to that objectification in a sense. I like to strip away the humanity and you almost just become an object that is focused purely on pleasure of yourself or somebody else. And I've very much been in the role of being like a dominant gimp and a submissive gimp as well, and sort of how you use that that object in a sense. So I personally really enjoy the anonymity of it. I think it lets me be somebody that I'm typically not in my day-to-day, because I think it detaches you from your humanity or who you are on a day-to-day basis. Underneath that hood you could literally be anybody, and I think when I'm thinking about like filming content, going to events, like all of this sort of stuff, sometimes it's quite fun to be anonymous because it could be anybody under there and you don't truly know. So it means that you have that freedom to maybe explore things in a different way or have a bit of a different persona. I present quite dominant on my Instagram and in socials and at a lot of events, especially when I'm hosting. So to be able to then become this anonymous gimp and actually be quite subby or just be like a toy or those sorts of things is quite nice, because I feel like it gives me that freedom to step away from a lot of what I'm typically doing or expected to be doing.
I enjoy a hood, and it took me a while to find one that fit, which is unfortunately it's kind of you just have to trial and error it unless you get a custom job. I go for one for zips at the back because it helps me get my hair tucked away nicely, and they tend to fit me better. I don't know why it is. I couldn't tell you why they fit better, but they do. So this one's got a zip. I've got a balaclava that zips up at the back, which is really good. I really enjoy that one. I think they might be a little bit looser because of the zip, so that I don't feel quite as pulled tight. Because I often find that some hoods make my nose hurt, and that's not good. No one wants that.
I think it just takes time to find the right one for you. I think I've settled on kink projects. Seems to work quite well for me because for some reason I have the head shape of an Asian man. So whereas I found a lot of like the British brands don't tend to fit me as well. I think you just have to find what works best for you.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to have their own preference.
Which is where second-hand gear markets and second skin can be a boon. You can try something cheap and see if it works, then buy your own.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think, and as we said in a previous episode, if you've got mates that would let you try things on as well, that always helps, because it just gives you a sense as to which style and which brands kind of fit you and fit your face quite well, and also what you're most comfortable with, because as you said, you can get micro-perforated hoods, open eyes, open mouths, all those sorts of things, or you could have full sensory deprivation, like whatever you feel works best for you. So
yeah, I do feel in the rubber world especially, you do have your little black dress.
Yeah.
Which is your black catsuit. Me and Kable both love to play with colour, and we have a lot of colourful outfits, but black catsuit is what you always want. I think it's the classic.
I always get asked what's the first piece of gear that you should buy if you're getting into rubber. And I always start off by saying some kind of latex shorts. Something very simple that is cheaper, that at least gets you used to the feel. But then if you love
the main
it...
areas.
Yeah, if you then enjoy it, black catsuit. And as much as I am a fan of colourful, different designs, uniqueness, everybody I feel like needs a black catsuit, because that really is the bare standard, makes everybody look good, feel sexy, and it just really helps you to then play around with other things to personalise it.
It's a good base to build from.
Yeah.
And then obviously gloves. And then you've got your socks. Now some people don't wear rubber socks, they just wear cotton socks when they're gimping. Fair enough. As long as they're football-style tall ones under the boots. Some people go for toe socks, like I've got on. Some people just go for socks without toes. I've got both. Sometimes I layer them up. To get your full gimp look, it's probably like £500-600, which isn't ideal. But we have a niche interest, so we have to be prepared to spend a bit of money on it.
Yeah, it's also an investment, though. That's the thing. If you take good care of your rubber, your rubber's going to last you a lifetime.
The first rubber I bought, proper rubber, I got when I was 18, and I've still got it.
Yeah, some of my suits haven't lasted that long, and I think things will happen. Rubber is obviously, it does stretch, but it doesn't always stretch that far. So sometimes things will rip. But I think that the purpose and the reason why it is quite expensive is because it's gonna last you. Especially some of those high quality brands, like it's great quality rubber. you can always tell the difference between sort of cheaper and more expensive rubber. And again, everyone has their preference. I buy a lot from kink projects. I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I do it because it's good value for money. The wait time is quite long, but it's definitely worth it in my opinion because of the designs that they do and the different ways you can customize it.
Because I'm a fancy bitch, I go to Invincible Rubber because they're the ones I went to first all those years ago. And they've, like with Sainsbury's, there's a supermarket I shopped at. I will be loyal to that brand until I die for no reason. They are good quality, a bit pricey, but you pay for the quality. And also, costs are just going up at the minute. Like, I've noticed in the past 5 years that rubber has become more expensive than it was in the previous 15. I think that's just the state of the world at the minute. So it's now time to get started, but this is why it's excellent to have these second-hand sites and gear markets at events and stuff so that you can find something to try. When people ask me what should I buy first, I say either something shorts or briefs or gloves, because then you get the sensation, because then anything you touch is then rubber if you're wearing the gloves. That's what I first bought with some industrial rubber gauntlets. They were the first gear I ever bought. I said my surf suit from Invincible was, but that was my first like kinky gear, whereas the gloves was the first gear I ever got.
What kind of entry to your cat suits do you like?
So neck entry is where I go mainly for the aesthetic, the clean look. Obviously, there's no zip down the front, no zip down the back. I do have a slightly thicker suit from Invincible that is shoulder entry. They don't think you can do neck entry on the thicker ones because it's too thick. It doesn't stretch enough.
It needs to be able to stretch.
And the shoulder zips I quite like because they're kind of out of the way. But again, that's because I'm a fancy bitch. I like things to look clean. I wouldn't mind a front zip, but I did buy one once with a tall neck, and I hated the tall neck. Then I actually panicked once when a suitcase broke and I just left it on a train. So someone found a cat suit once upon a time.
Hopefully it's found a nice home.
Well, you never know. But what's this called? Neck entry. I enjoy because when you're pulling it up, you are sealing yourself in.
Yeah. And
like it's a bit of a struggle to take it off. But I do like that you are trapped in it.
Yeah.
And once it's on, I don't feel like it's on.
Yeah, it becomes a second skin.
Almost immediately. And there's no zip to fiddle with, because I would fiddle. I'm a fiddler. If there was some air, I'd be going like that all the time. Yeah. Up and down. I don't want to be doing that.
See, my first catsuit, I got a front entry. And I think that's just because seemed like the...
Well, they are easier to get on.
Yeah, they are the easiest option. If you want first catsuit, not sure how to get it on, front entry, always easiest. Then I got a back entry next, and I much preferred it because of the visual side of it, and it is a bit more hidden, but my God, it is hard to do by yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do that, you probably want a partner, or what you do is you tie a shoelace through the zip and then you use that to pull out. But even then, sometimes it's not gone well.
You don't have a finger to make sure you're not catching the lip thing.
Yeah, make sure you're checking the zip guard, but also like if you're pulling too much, like I've busted the zip before, so that also is a bit of a worry. The one I've settled on is shoulder entry. Yeah. I think shoulder entry for me is the most simple, and
well, you like a higher neck generally,
yes.
Don't you?
Yeah.
You can get that on a shoulder.
Exactly. So I think shoulder entry would be my preference. I do have one neck entry suit which I love. It gives me a bit of anxiety every time I put it on that it's gonna burst as it goes up across my...
Well, there is that. I don't know if you can see on here, but like the seam is pulling apart a little bit.
Okay.
Because I've had it for years.
Yeah.
And I've got broader. I didn't know that was possible, but I got broader in my late 20s. So that is always a worry. And one time I've got another suit, my silver and blue one is neck entry, and that ripped right down the seam when I was putting it on one time. Good that it was on the seam. That's an easier fix, but it is always a little bit terrifying.
Yeah.
When I was filming putting this on, I was like, it's gonna rip.
Is this gonna be the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, whenever I have one neck entry suit, and I do love it for the same reason, that because there's no zip, it feels very encased. It feels basically like a second skin, so I've really enjoyed that. I think it gave me a lot of anxiety putting it on, and it's that moment when you've got to stretch it so much to get over your chest and then also your shoulders as well. So that's always scared me. But my top tip that I always do from now on is using fisting lube. I do Vividress as sort of standard for all of my cat suits, and you can either use silicone based lube or Vividress, which is the thing that I use. But when it comes to putting on the neck entry, just over the final bit of my arms and my shoulders, I'll always cover them in a water-based lube to be able to just glide straight on. And it's so much slippier than traditional lube. So I definitely recommend doing that. It's the same when you're putting on accessories like latex gloves or latex socks as well. I always worry that I haven't put on enough silicone lube for it to slide on, and there's been times where those things have ripped or broken because of it. So for anything that is quite fiddly or it's something that you can't really get the lube all the way down into it, it's the same. I've got a massive gimp suit as well, which is top to toe concealed, so I always like to make sure that for things like that I'm using lube that makes sure it gets on really easily and doesn't rip.
The thing with like your accessories and stuff, your gloves, sometimes they just won't go on. Like you'll be there arguing with them for ages trying to get through. The key with it is patience. Like if you go slow, you will get the glove on eventually. Yeah. And the longer you're at it, the sweater you'll get, the easier it will be to get it on.
Yeah.
I used to do talc in the early days, but then I'd have to shine myself afterwards. So, and again, quite lazy. That was beyond what I wanted to do. So that's when I moved on to Vividress, which is really good for getting on and off. And Vividress also shines you as well, so you don't need Vivishine, but you can take that to the events with you. But yeah, that's the main drawback of rubber, is getting it on without damaging it.
But it's taking your time. All those years way back when I was a little twink, had no muscles, I used to put on my rubber without any dressing aid, because first of all, I didn't know that you had to. Like, nobody had told me this. So I was just there with my latex shorts that I bought off of Wish, putting those on, and thought, oh well, this is like pulling all of my leg hairs off, but this is what it's meant to do. So and then I got my cat suit, and I could even get that on without needing any as well, which everyone was always extremely shocked by, and I was like, well, it just always worked. But then the fateful day came when one time you pull a little too hard, or it gets caught, and like it does rip. It's over time you just find the motions and the movements as to how you can pull it and how you can't. I was in Black Star Latex in Berlin last week, and I was just in awe about the people that work there and how they can literally pull the rubber so far without doing anything to it, because they just know it's become natural. They know how much they can stretch. Like, you just learn over time what the rubber is able to do and what it's not able to do. Avoiding fingernails is like the big number one, because that's always the thing that ends up making it rip. Just making sure that when you are pulling on rubber or adjusting it, that you're using bits of your hands and stuff that doesn't have friction and avoids that. So
yeah, I mean, it's just sort of like learned behavior. Like, I don't have to think about it anymore, because I can pull on my catsuit easy breezy. And I had my Invincible surf suit, the first proper gear I ever got. I've still got. I can pull that on now easy. It's a zip up the front, and I can put that on without anything, because I've shrunk a little bit. I was a bit chubby back then, so it's slightly, I'd stretched it a little bit more, so now when it goes on, it's just such a dream. It's so easy to get on. Don't wear it often enough, but yeah, it's a good one. Any other tips for gearing up? Keep your buckles far away and be very careful with them. Harnesses can be dangerous.
Sometimes the challenger kink is sometimes they don't mix in a practical sense as well. So when you have got things like leather mixing with latex, obviously leather a lot of the times has a lot of buckles, straps, things that are going to get caught. So always being very mindful and careful about when you do things like that. But again, I think it's just about being aware. It's the same when like I'm wearing things like boots and grinders and stuff like that, and obviously things that can catch there. But I had it before where I put on a full gimp suit with attached toe socks. I then put my boots on. I wasn't wearing socks in between, and the friction of the boot as I was walking to the venue ended up ripping the toe sock by the time I got there. So again, another tip would be make sure that you wear a layer in between them, or some kind of way to avoid that friction.
Like, I haven't with this, because I know I'm going from over there to this chair, and that's it.
Exactly.
And I'm not moving, but if you were walking somewhere, for sure. And also, be careful of horny rushing, because I once was layering up and I ripped a bit of rubber. It was dungarees that I had, and it ripped like at the crotch, and I'm like, oh, and then so I pulled that off. I'm like, right, I want to get something else on, and then I went to put another suit on instead, and I ripped that in my haste. I had two like they probably cost me like £600 in total, and they'd both been ruined because I was just a dingus and I didn't take my time. You need to be patient with it.
Yeah, it's always the reason at the end of the day why rubber rips. It's because somebody was rushing or moved too fast. Yeah. I was hosting an event one time where I was in my catsuit and I went to squat and I did it so quickly that the entire back of my suit completely ripped open, which was mortifying to do that on stage in front of people. But it happens. You have to accept it, and sometimes it will happen.
Like every event, you'll see someone who's suddenly naked, carrying a bundle of latex in their hands because
it's the worst thing. I always feel so bad for people when that happens.
Especially on an event like MRM when you're showcasing your stuff and it's like, how often am I here? And then it goes sour like that. It is a pisser.
Luckily, not ripped anything in a very long time, apart from a minor tear that happened to my gloves.
I went years without ripping anything.
Yeah.
I mean, a few holes in gloves, but I don't really count that. And then I had some cycle shorts that I pulled on and just like ripped completely. They're attached by like the thinnest seam. Yeah. And then I had the dungarees broke, that catsuit broke. This catsuit broke because I wore it with a metal chastity cage that then poked out. It had like had a sticky outy bit and it just ripped, and then suddenly he locked up dick were swinging free. Miserable.
What about shining up your catsuits? Have you got sort of any tips or tricks about how you like to shine?
When I wash my gear, I tend to put some Vividress in that and swish it all around, which means that they're shined when they go into storage. Yeah. Often when they come out, greasy hands and there's handprints all over them. I am quite, would you believe it, quite lazy with it. And I don't do it for myself, I do it for the people I'm with. If I'm going out, I'll get shined up. But if I'm just gearing up at home, I can leave it. Because I don't mind the matte look. As Jay Rubbercub keeps preaching, he likes the look of matte because it feels more industrial, more not squeaky clean. That said, I don't like mud on my gear. I don't like muddy stuff. I wouldn't wear it like people who go out walking in gear, like hiking. I don't want muck on these boots. Are you kidding me? The boots are meant to shine. Yeah. I don't like that side of things. So I'm just fussy.
I personally love the shine of rubber. I think for me that's the thing that I love the most. So the shinier I can make it, the better. And I'm always trying to find ways to make sure that I can get it that perfect shine. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes you'll be washing it and you'll just have figured it out, the perfect shine. And I don't know what happened, but when you then put it on and it's just like amazing. But I think for me, the tip that I always have, so as you said, washing rubber, I always after wearing it make sure you wash it with water and soap. Typical hand soap should be fine, just anything that's not got any obviously harmful chemicals or anything like that.
Anything that you'd wash your body with, you can wash your rubber with.
Exactly. And then clean all of the soap off, and then as you said, put some Vivashine in with some water. Again, doesn't need to be boiling hot or freezing cold, just typical warm water. Give it some time to soak and mix, turn it inside out, make sure it's covered, and then you can hang that to dry. I know that the advice as well is if you're not going to wear your rubber for a while, it is good to talc it, and after you wash it with water and soap and then you talc it after that. You don't need to shine it if you're going to store it away, because it does help to keep it for longer. Yeah. But as somebody like myself, and probably yourself as well, that wears it so much, I think that for me it doesn't make sense to have to talc it every time and put it away when I know I'll be back in it in a month.
We come back to the crux of the matter. That's a lot of effort. So I can't be bothered. And not to mention that you're like drying rubber, turn it inside out, and then you've got to have it up there for a while. It's a palaver. So I try and limit the amount of effort I have to put into it. Yeah. And also, I don't know what gear I'm going to want to wear next time I feel the urge, because I've got so much. If I talked it all, every time I went to an event, I'd wear something different each time I went to it. So then it would feel a bit redundant. Yeah. And I store my gear under my bed, so it's not in the light anyway. So it's clean, it's normally folded, and just kept out of sight, so it doesn't get too much environmental damage.
The last thing I was just going to say is about accessories.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any personal preference of accessories or things you like to style your gimp out with?
Well, I have a collar, but I believe personally that I wear a collar for photos, but I wouldn't wear one out because I'm not collared.
Okay.
So I feel like that's very much an ownership kind of thing.
Yeah, so that means something to you, because like obviously I wear chains all the time. It doesn't mean that I'm officially.
No, well, I had a chain,
yeah,
but I lost it.
Yeah.
So I would wear that, because I think it looks good. But I'm not too. I'd wear a collar, but only if I was being collared. Cuffs again, maybe, but I'd want to wear them more for play. I won't wear them out because you catch on people. I don't want to be walking through a crowd of rubber people and accidentally snagging their gear with my cuffs. My accessorizing with gear tends to be more layers. I tend to just put something on and then cover it so no one sees it. Anyway, I've got a green denim jacket that works really well with my Superman outfit for some reason, so I don't mind mixing materials like that as well. But rubber accessories for me tend to be more toys, and they tend to stay in the bedroom.
I think for me, the accessories are sort of part of the persona. I think it depends on who I wanted to be that night or what I'm going for. Sometimes I'll go for like a sporty look, and therefore I'll wear my TNs and like my snapback cap and like those sorts of things.
You see, I'm always in boots. Yeah. It's always boots for me.
Always boots.
So I
thought between trainers, boots. I think it depends. Other times I want to give off a Dom vibe for, like, for example, today wearing my shades, got like my belt strap, like things like that. Yeah, exactly. So feeling my dominant energy right now. Obviously, being a rubber pup as well, that's a whole different thing. So I think it's always those sort of what mood or what kind of energy I'm giving.
My mood comes with my hair. If I've got my hair tied back, that's usually because I'm expecting a hood to go on because I'm going to be subby.
Yeah.
But if I've got it like half up, half down, or just down, well, just down is casual and half up, half down is my more dominant look, probably. So that's what I'd do. My hair is an accessory for me. My hair is my main accessory. It's all I really do. On any given day, I'll put clothes on, and then it's how am I wearing my hair, and then that's it.
I mean, it's beautiful hair.
Well, I do my best.
Well, yeah, with that, I think we can close up.
Magic. So you can find us on Instagram. He is
Romeo Kable.
And I am Rubber Romeo. And rubberroom.media on Instagram. And I think I set up the TikTok, I just can't remember. So it might be on there as well. You can have a look. It will be by the time you're listening to this. It should be rubberroom.media as well. This is season 2. Season 1.
Not season 2 yet. Season 2 to come.
Hopefully, by the time these start rolling out, we'll have plans in motion for season 2, and we're very excited to share it with you. But we will be hoping that you're getting in touch. Please tell us the things you want to tell us. Questions, anything you want explained more.
We very much wanted this to be a community space, so we will be making sure that we engage with everybody on our socials, hearing what it is that you want to talk about, who do you want to see on this space, who can we bring along to get some other perspectives as well. So all ideas are welcome, but we really appreciate you listening to us through this wild ride of kink and all things rubbery.
I've had a really good time doing this, and I hope you have too.
Yeah, it's been fun. I'm really glad that we've started this up, and just excited to see where it goes. So.
For sure.
But with that, thanks very much, and we will see you in the next season.
Goodbye.